Thanks, Nicole. One of the fastest growing industries in Colorado is the marijuana industry. Since the legalization of pot just a few years ago, we've seen stores pop up across our state with millions of dollars in revenue being generated. And the industry goes beyond the stores that you see. And joining us today is Steve Yonich, the CEO of Americanex, which is something of a commodities exchange for the industry. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Beyond the storefronts that we see, what else is out there about this industry that maybe people aren't aware of?
Well, what we originally started with was the flower, the cannabis itself. Now we've found that there are so many manufactured products that start with the flower, but it could end up a gummy bear, a chocolate bar.
Right.
And this consistently grows. If you notice, most recently, a lot of tinctures and creams are in the marketplace. So there's such a large infrastructure that has grown here that what the marketplace truly needs is a good track and trace system that also has a good payment system built in with the ability to watch the entire sales cycle of the product down to the consumer. And really the way I think we should all look at it is protection of public health and safety.
And you're talking about a payment system, but how does that work given the federal laws?
So that's one of the biggest misconceptions, is that the federal government doesn't allow for banks to actually bank this industry.
Right.
They can. There are strict rules and regulations. There are what we call FinCEN guidelines, the co-memo that's been put out by the federal government, so that we understand exactly what the rules and regulations are. Now you have to build that framework. The biggest problem was most banks weren't ready for the industry and find it very, very expensive and time-consuming to manage the clients because it's an all-cash business. This phenomenon exists in all cash businesses. So whether it's a restaurant, a bar, they still have banking issues. So what we've done is we've developed a system where we work with credit unions. We work with, currently are engaged with some banks. They'll use a back office application to automate the process so that now individual banks can bank the clients, bank them so that they're fully compliant through a regulatory process. And then we provide kind of like the PayPal or the Apple Pay solution to the entire industry. So now from the consumer all the way through to the distributor, they can pay each other through an online digital process.
I know you ideally would like to see marijuana legalized across the country, because you say if it is legalized at the federal level that revenues would surpass that of the NFL?
Well, if you really look at the numbers, the statistics that you and I see on a daily basis are legal cannabis statistics. And the fact that, yes, the cannabis in the legal marketplace does and looks like it's approaching the $10 billion marketplace. But can you imagine if we had legalized it across the country? Because currently it's closer to a $200 or $300 billion market. So if we can capture a large portion of that, which is now being consumed by the black market, which means that they are making all the money, we could provide an entire infrastructure for states. We could provide, as we've seen in Colorado, we've sent money home because the tax revenues were so high. The cannabis industry is actually providing an infrastructure to provide some free education for the underprivileged. And if you actually look at the jobs that are being created in the state, you know, bud tenders, these are unskilled laborers per se, making $20, $30 an hour. And within that entire infrastructure, we provide a good corporate citizen that now has the ability to grow and spend for the future. And
I think we've all, I mean, you're right, it's obvious, all the growth, particularly here in Colorado, but the Attorney General has made it clear that he wants to fight this industry. How do you combat that? How do you work with the governments in this case? Well,
I think if we can and we do provide an infrastructure where the federal government can have that comfort level that they can control the industry. I think that you'll find that the processes that we could put in place will ease those tensions. Also, if you look at the spending bill that was recently signed to keep the government open, it continuously is defunding from Sessions and his team to go after medical marijuana states. So we still see it a federal posture to be very positive. And frankly, let's look at Canada. They just went recreational for 2018. It's the largest unmanned border to the United States. Let's not look and see what's going to happen there when all of this product starts to cross into the U.S. and we're not capturing that revenue. Again, helping build the black market.
Well, it is definitely big money, that's for sure. Thank you so much, Steve Yonich. I appreciate your insight into this interesting topic. Thank you. Stay with us. We'll have this week's Late Night Laughs when we come back.